trade rumors and stuff like that. So we like all of Carolina's players, not saying and taking anything away, but we also want to win a cup, and I know that, and I know the fan base wants it, everybody wants it. So what pieces do we need, or what pieces do we feel like we're missing in order to make that happen?
Whew. I think we need a big grindy winger that's like a Matthew Tkachuk type player that's going to be nasty. I think we need a little bit more nastiness to our team um, to get into the playoffs. And then, I mean, the obvious one, and maybe Cam, this is where you were going, but I think we need something in the goaltending department. I think that's that for now. Those are the two spots that I think. I think defensively we're pretty strong with the depth we have in the American League. I think the guys have played well, but I think a big heavy forward that's gonna just you know create havoc, a nasty version of Andrei Svechnikov, and a goal scorer. So I think that's the biggest need right now. But who knows where they're going to go? Seems like they're settling in with Tokarski and Kochekov as the pairing. So we'll see.
I mean, I think they need a center really bad. We need another center that's going to complement Aho. I think going out and getting a guy like Brady Tkachuk is probably
He's not a center though;
so.
he's a winger.
No, I know, but if you
I
put him like
Yeah,
he's one of those where I feel like he could be a really good centerman. I really do. I feel like he could be because he's really good defensively responsible. He's done that in Ottawa forever. I mean, he's their captain, and I don't know. I mean, a guy like that would be great, but he's one of those guys that can be a gamer, obviously, like Matthew for sure. So, and then yeah, a goalie. We need either a 1A or 1B. Like we need another number one, basically, because again, if this inconsistency thing keeps on with Kochekov, he's not going to be the guy. So that's that's where we're at right now. We're kind of like, and it's crazy to think that we're still sitting here, probably 2 years on at this point. Like, he'll get there. We're crossing our fingers and toes and just hoping. Like, all right, you see blips of it. You see little, spots of light, but overall, he just has to be more consistent. So I think going out and getting a guy who's 28 to 30, that's been in the league a long time, that's been either like a 1A or 1B guy to kind of trade it off with a bunch of guys. That's kind of what they need. So
like a
I don't think a John Gibson is a good idea. I don't.
really.
I don't know. I don't love. I mean, he's just kind of like,
Maybe
but
not
he's
at the
just kind of been
contract.
around. He's not
Yeah.
like the contract for one. Yeah, is kind of crazy. But I mean, again, you look at the goalie market, you're gonna have to pay for a top end guy for sure. So, and I just think that the Freddie experiment is over. So that's kind of where I'm at. The Canes need to look because basically it's after this year they're going to have to do it in either the off season
Mm-hmm.
or they do it at the trade deadline this year. That's kind of what it's going to have to be. So
So I really think it really boils down to is do we think we're ready this year with the group that we have? And do we go out there and we bet the farm on bringing in a player that's gonna be expensive, or we're gonna have to give up prospects, or I guess probably draft picks more than prospects, but we don't want to give up prospects because we got some really good ones in the system that are maybe a year or two away. But I don't know. It really just depends on where we think we are as a group. Can we win with what we have? And if we add one piece to it, does it take us over the top? And I don't know that I know that that's an
no,
easy answer to give right now
I don't think
because
we're one piece away. That's the
I
issue.
don't think we
no, I
are.
think
I
we're a
don't think we
couple.
are either. So do you give up enough? Do you give up that to get a guy like, and I'll use him for example, just a guy like John Gibson? I mean, heavy contract. Do you give that up?
I don't think you give up a lot for him though.
No, I don't think you'd want to either.
I just
No,
don't
Um,
think I don't think he warrants a lot, to be completely
no,
frank with you.
he's getting
I
yeah,
overpaid.
well, no, I know that, but you just have to. Do you have to give up a lot because you have to make room for the contract.
Yes.
So
Okay. So if you
so I
don't
think
have the
Well, they're
cap
gonna have
space, then
they're
right,
gonna have a lot of cap coming
right.
into the offseason for
Right.
sure.
But
I
they
mean,
don't now, but they'll have to free up cap space to get rid of somebody. So is it worth doing that for, for a team that you think is maybe two or three pieces away from a cup contending team?
Unless it's
So,
a package where we get 2 pieces back and we give up a couple pieces
yeah,
for
I
that.
mean, it
Like,
has to be
does
right. Yeah.
does Anaheim have a good center that's on the market?
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, well, the thing with you want really a good second line center that's going to be. I mean, you look at New Jersey. Who are their first two centers? They're basically all stars. You know, look at Florida. They're all stars. Like, to win a cup, you have to have two good centers, at least two good, if
Mhm.
not three. Your
Sam
fourth line
Bennett an
center can
all-star?
kind of.
Did he make all-stars last year? I'm not. I'm just being nitpicky. That's
Oh,
all.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I
I'm
don't.
just.
I mean, but
He's a
Well, he's
great.
an all-star level
He's a
player.
great
he's an
player.
all-star
Yeah,
level
Sam
player.
Bennett is a difference maker. 100%. I was
For
just
sure.
being a
Yeah.
nitpicky.
No, I know. But yeah, I mean, you just look at those teams, they just have the depth. You need the depth for sure. And the center position at Carolina I've been ripping my hair out for years about the stupid center position. I mean, we think Jack Drury's going to be the guy at 2C. I don't think he is. I think he's a good center, but
I
I think
don't
he's a
think.
good third, fourth center.
Yeah,
I don't think Kokaniemi's a good 2C. I don't think, I don't even know who their
Jordan Stahl.
fourth line center is. I guess it's.
We have
is it
Jordan
Ty
Stahl,
Jost?
Drury, Yost, and
Oh yeah,
Kotkaniemi.
Jordan. I
We
always
have
forget
the
about
issue
him.
we have is when we have our full lineup.
We have three fourth or third line centers.
We have three
and we don't
third
have
line
a second
centers.
line. Yeah.
If you put Kotkaniemi in third line center, that's probably his best position. You put Drury at third line center, probably his best position. You put Jordan Stahl at third line center, probably his best position. 100%. I agree. That's why I'm curious. It's like, okay, if we need a goaltender and we need a center, does a team like Anaheim or another team that possibly could be giving up a goaltender, would it make a sense in like a package deal where we're getting something back? Nashville. Okay, maybe Nashville.
Let's go for Vinny Trocheck and Jonathan Quick. Let's take that as a package deal.
I was gonna ask that question, but the more I thought about it, I don't want Vincent
if I want-
Trocheck at whatever contract we get him at the age of 38. I'm all set.
Yeah. Well, what if they keep some of his contract?
You're not going to keep the years, so I don't care what the number is. I don't want him at 38. I don't think I don't think he plays the full length of that contract. I think he probably has 6 more years. I mean, he signed a 7-year deal with them. He maybe gets to 37, I think, but I don't think he plays his last season. And so you're paying a guy to not do anything he can retire early, or you're just going to keep him on the books to then all of a sudden you're having to eat contract or buy him out or do something like that. I just don't think that contract fills out the entire length of it. I think Trocheck's a good player right now, but I don't want to just do for right now and then have to deal with the repercussions in the long haul, because look at a team like Pittsburgh. They have so much dead cap, and then on top of that, they have no prospects. They have no draft picks. They have an aging team that just can't seem to win anything. They're winning now, which is good to see, but are they a playoff team? I don't think they're even a playoff team, to be completely honest. Maybe, I mean, if New York doesn't figure out what's going on with their team, they might make the playoffs, but
Well, they're last. The Rangers are last in the Metro right now.
they're last in the East. I'm pretty sure.
Are they last in the East now?
I think they're last in the. I mean, maybe Buffalo, because Buffalo's god awful too. I don't know how they keep being bad. Columbus is doing great.
Their last
right now.
2 games though, Buffalo's beat the brakes off whoever they played. I think they've scored 6 goals in each game.
All right. Well, then
least.
if we're going to this conversation, let's just push over. We can kind of discuss trade and around the league as well too, and then we'll wrap up the last 5 with what's coming up on the week. But yeah, Kim, New York is. Oh no, there's 2 teams in the Atlantic that are worse than them. It's Detroit and Buffalo.
Yeah, Detroit's pretty bad too.
Does Detroit have a goalie?
They just had a coaching change, so they brought in McClellan. So I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't think it's a coaching issue, but it's hard. It's hard to say that it's a coaching issue with a lot of teams, just because at the end of the day, they can't go out there, put the skates on, and put the effort in. They can't score the goals. They can't make the saves. They can't. They can give you every tool they have at their disposal, but they can't go out there and force you to want to play to the point where you want to win.
Yeah.
I just think Detroit has a bad roster. I blame Yzerman more than I blame the coach. So, and then Yzerman was getting snippy with reporters, like, this is my plan. It's going to work. Like, it's like, dude, it hasn't worked. Like, you've been here how long?
5
And,
years
you know,
now
you,
and still no
you
playoffs.
still got your thumb in your ass. Like, what is going on, dude? Like, this guy's such a joke, man. And I feel bad for Detroit, like the fans too, because they have a lot of really good young players. Like Mort Seider is so good, and he's wasted on that team. I think Dylan Larkin is. You talk about a second line center.
Yeah.
You go out and get a guy like Dylan Larkin.
That's why I was going to ask
that
who's
might
their
change.
goalie.
That might change the trajectory of the Canes
So-
if they go get a guy like Larkin. Granted, he has a giant contract. I don't think the Canes really want to go after it, but I'm telling you, that would be like. If you want to go get a gamer that can play second line center, I mean, he would be like a glove. I mean, it would be unbelievable how well he would play.
Yeah.
So,
And he's probably hungry for playoffs. He hasn't been to playoffs since his rookie season.
Yeah, like I mean, guy's going to give you everything he's got every game. That would be a guy I'd be willing to give up a couple of pieces for.
So
I'd be willing to.
That would be a defensive
I'd be willing
prospect.
to ship out a Kokoniemi and another prospect, and then maybe a fourth line winger or something.
I'm telling you right now, it would be a defensive prospect. So,
yeah.
Which of the two are you giving up?
Well, that's assuming they want one of the two we're talking about.
Every team in the NHL wants one of the two we're talking about. There's very few teams that are looking at those two guys who are ranked in the top 10 defensive prospects in the NHL.
For me, it would be Nikishin.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
It'd be Nikishin.
We would get a lot more in return than just Dylan Larkin for Nikishin. I'm giving you that right now.
But I'm just saying, you look at his age, he's already, 25? 24, 25?
24, yeah.
So he's already kind of an older guy coming into the league. It's going to take him probably a year or two to adjust.
Oh, he's going to be NHL ready.
It's going to take him time to adjust. He'll be about 27 before he's actually doing and putting up the points that he needs to put up. It's not a threat to Carolina for Detroit. Detroit's going to be bad. As long as Yzerman's in charge, Detroit's going to be horrible. So that's how you have to look at it, too. You're not trading him to a Metro team that he's going to cook you 4 games out of the year. If you play him twice on a home and home, yeah, he may get a couple points against you, but he's going to be on a really bad Detroit team that's going to try and rebuild. They're going to do what New York does. They're going to get a couple of pieces in. They're going to have some light. They're going to sell the farm to try and go deep in the playoffs, and then they're going to blow it all up again the next year.
So, Cam, let me ask you a question. What is it about Nikishin that you think is going to take him a year plus to get ready for the NHL? Because right now he's playing in the KHL, which is the second best league in the world. You look at the past 3 players that have come to the NHL from the KHL at an aging, a little bit older age. It's been Artemi Panarin, who in his rookie season had 100 points. And it's been the guy, Kirill Kaprizov, who came in from Russia at 23 years old. And in his rookie season, I think he had 92 points or something like that. And he was doing that in the KHL. So it's like, I disagree with you in that regard. I don't think it's going to take him any time to adjust. He's on pace to put up 80 points in the KHL, which would be the most points by a defenseman in KHL history. We're talking about the number 1 defensive prospect in the world right now. The second he comes over to the NHL, a lot of analysts are saying he's going to be the next Victor Hedman, like that level defenseman where he is your number 1 and there's not a question. He's taking over Slavin's role. That's what they're talking about. What about that is okay? That's a 1-for-1 swap with Dylan Larkin. I mean, if I'm giving,
I'm not saying it's 1-for-1, but I'm saying like if you're looking at both the prospects, I would want Nikishin because then you could get more in return. You could get probably 2 forwards for him.
I want Nikishin on my team.
You could get Larkin, and you could probably get a high quality winger as well.
But Nikishin's one of those players that, we might be able to get a couple players that are good now. Nikishin's one of those players that he's going to be good at 35 years old, and he's going to be a game breaker for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but you're also giving. Are you going to give up a guy like Morrow? That's a Cale Makar type player. I mean,
not even close.
I mean, he's taller.
I mean, I don't think. I don't think
we're talking Dougie Hamilton.
The offensive upside.
We're talking Dougie Hamilton. I'm giving Morrow his props. He's going to get 60 points in the NHL. He's not going to get 100. We have a way better chance of Nikishin getting 100 points in the NHL than we do of Morrow ever getting 70 points in the NHL.
Well, I guess we don't. don't know how he would translate. Because those other two guys were forwards. I think it's easier to translate as a forward than a defenseman. I think the other thing too that you got to look at. I mean, we're yes, he's got great numbers, and all the pundits are, are preaching him. But at the same time, who knows what he's going to be like when he lives in the U.S. and if he comes over and he can't matriculate into the environment. The environment he's living at home now, basically at home. He's playing in Russia, and so it's all
Yeah.
comfortable for him. So I think from the standpoint, more so than because of his physical play, I think it's going to be the adjustment to living away from Russia is going to be the bigger contributor than actually learning the game, because there's no doubt he's probably the better of the two.
No, he's for sure the better of the two.
But when you try to adjust to a different environment, you guys know as well as I do that it takes time to get comfortable in your own skin living away from a place that you've been at your entire life. So it's I think that's going to be more of an impact than anything. And we'll see, I I think you could give up either one of them to get a guy like Dylan Larkin. But I think, we got to just continue to tell ourselves, are we ready? And does he take us over the top? And do we give a prospect like that? Or what? Either one.
That's the thing is
Either one.
I don't think Dylan Larkin changes the Canes' complexion that drastically. I mean, I'll put it in the universe. I think that if you really look at it, if we add Dylan Larkin to this lineup right now, are we all of a sudden a Stanley Cup contender? Does he add 40 goals to our campaign? No, maybe 25, 30.
Maybe.
He's gotten 25 and 30 throughout his career. He's more of an assist guy. He's more of a passer. So we're adding another passer into a pass first lineup. So does it really make it that big of a difference? Okay, maybe. But do we? I mean, like I said, I struggle to, and this, I guess I'm going against my own term. It's like I wouldn't give up a defensive prospect out of all of the. I'd be more willing to give up a forward prospect before I'm giving up a defensive prospect, because the two guys that everybody in the NHL wants, I think very highly of. If I'm giving up one of the two, it's going to be Scott Morrow all day long, because I'm not giving up a future Norris winner. Like Morrow's not predicted to be like that level of defenseman where he's going to possibly win Norris trophies and be the best defenseman in the NHL. Nikishin very much is. Like Nikishin is there. Everybody is, and yes, 100%. You have to see how everything translates, but he's playing on NHL ice right now. He's playing in the second best league in the world, and he's lighting it on fire. I mean, you look at Cale Makar's numbers at UMass Amherst, and you look at Nikishin's numbers in the KHL. KHL's a way better league. Yeah, Nikishin's definitely older, but look at his 18-year-old season. Nikishin had 65 points in the KHL in his 18-year-old season. Like, we're talking about a generational talent. There's nothing in the world that I would trade for McDavid, McKinnon, Cale Makar. Yes, there are guys I would trade for Nikishin.
Yeah.
But there are I'm saying, like, as a rental piece or anything like that, he's the last person on the board for me. If I'm Carolina, he's off limits, basically. There are very few players that are off limits in my organization. He's one of them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, who knows? I mean, but again, it's we just have to decide if we're willing to go that deep, if we think we can go that deep in the playoffs and become a contender by adding a player.
Well, he actually,
and I don't.
Speaking of that, he might get added at the end of the season, because he is eligible to come over right at the end of the year. If Ska misses or gets out in like the first round ends like the playoffs for them start in like the beginning of March. So if they lose in the first round, he could be over here as early as mid-March.
So is he a lefty or righty?
He's a left shot defenseman.
Okay, so it'd be somebody down the Burns side, or
no, it'd
Ghost.
be somebody.
Nope.
It'd be Slavin, Ghost, or Orlov.
Yeah, Orlov. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So. But I still think we need a little bit of punch up front, though.
I don't disagree. I know what Detroit would want, and I'm not willing to give anything up for Dylan Larkin, because
you say that. Who knows?
Maybe they want something completely different. You never know.
Maybe
100%.
they don't want anything. Maybe they want a couple of draft picks.